Hello guys, welcome to lesson 13 of your HTML5 Crash Course, and in this lesson we'll be covering HTML5 entities, what they are and how we could use them. Hello guys, so we're back in VS Code and we're back in the reference box, and you can see I've created a file here called 10_entities.html, and then I've generated a boilerplate and changed the title and then split screen with live server so we can track our progress. Now I'll just go into the body and create a H1 and just put a title for entities so it can display on the browser. Now entities and symbols are frequently used to display reserved characters in your code, which would otherwise be interpreted as HTML code. And some characters are reserved in HTML, so for example the less than and greater sign in your text. So where we might run into problems is if we just put a paragraph tag here and we put 5 and use the greater than sign is greater than 2, where we might run into problems is HTML might interpret this greater than sign as a tag, so it might display differently on your browser. So a way we could fix this is by using HTML entities, and the way we would implement a HTML entity for the greater than sign is we'd go in here and it's just ampersand GT semicolon, and you can see it generates the same thing, but now the browser won't get confused with this because it understands that this is an entity. And the same would be for less than. So if we just duplicate this down, and less than instead of GT it'll be LT, and then we just put 2 is less than 5. So that's how you'd implement the entity if you wanted to use it for whatever reason. Another entity we can use is currency entities, and there are different types of currencies should you want to use your domestic ones or international currencies, and they're displayed like this. So I'll just create another heading and say currency entities, and we'll go in here. We're in Britain, so I'll do the pound. So the pound is really easy. We'll just do a paragraph. We'll do a paragraph tag, hit tab, and then we'll do ampersand pound semicolon, and that's the pound. And then we'll just duplicate this a couple more times. So for the euro it would be euro, and then for Japan it would be yen, so yen. And then you've also got the cent, so it would be instead of yen it would be cent. So quite easy to remember, quite easy to implement. You've also got a couple of ones that I use quite frequently, like the copyright and the trademark entity. So we'll just go under here, create another H1, and we'll put copyright and trademark entities. So we'll go underneath here, do another paragraph, and then the copyright would be ampersand copy semicolon, and then we'll duplicate this down one more time, and for the trademark it would be reg. And you can see here now the entities, let's just zoom in a little bit. You can see now the entities here, the copyright entity and the trademark entity. Now there are tons of different HTML entities, and it would take a much longer video to go through all of them. But if you're interested in entities, guys, there's a brilliant website we can go to. If we just go into Chrome here, and we just type in dev.w3.org, and we click on the link here, character entity reference, and you can browse through all the entities onto this web page. And if you like any of these and want to add any of them in your project, it even shows you how to write them. So again, a really useful website for HTML5 entities. Alright guys, as always, just a quick recap on some of the key points of the lesson. We learned that entities are frequently used to display reserved characters. We learned that some of these characters, such as the greater than and the less than sign, are reserved for HTML5. And we also learned there are tons of different entities to choose from, and currencies and copyright symbols was just a few. And if you're really interested in entities, just visit dev.w3.org and click the entity link, and you can browse with different entities that are on there. So as always guys, if you like the content, please consider subscribing, and in the next video we'll be doing a quiz so we can test our knowledge in HTML5.